Hey, and welcome to another episode of the Crew Podcast. I am your visionary, Queen Angela. And if you are a diva that's looking to amplify your voice and you're looking for a home, we have space for you. Come on over and join them divas of the airways and amplify your voice.
At Wings of Transformation Publishing, we are committed to helping our authors reach their goals and pursue their dreams of becoming published authors. We work closely with each author to ensure a successful publishing experience, and we are dedicated to helping them tell their stories in the most meaningful and impactful ways. We look forward to putting you on the path to writing your book.
Aspiring Authors Magazine is a founding sponsor for Da Crew podcast. Get featured inside the magazine and allow your voice to be heard around the world.
Aspiring Authors Magazine is an international magazine founded in May of 2020 by Queen Angela. Get featured.
Oh, mercy, mercy me. All things ain't what they used to be now. Where did all the blue skies go? Poison is the wind that blows from the north and south and east. Whoa, mercy, mercy me. All things ain't what they used to be now.
The Lord will see you through. Turn to somebody and say, trouble don't last. Oh, yeah. Trouble don't last always. Do you really mean it? Come on, say it again. Trouble.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in to The Nations with Prophet Simone Williams Young. Today is the day that the Lord has made, and I will rejoice and be glad in it no matter what. Well, today I have an awesome guest. And she is part of the DAG Awards. And with no further delays, we'll go ahead and bring my guest on. Hello.
Hi.
I'm so excited to see you.
So excited to see you. Is my mic clear?
Yes, you are perfectly clear. And
Awesome.
I know your first name is Bobby, but I did not want to butcher your last name. So if you could give me the correct pronunciation for your last name, please.
Stretching.
Bobby Stretching. Thank you
Yes.
so much. And I see that you are an author, you have your nonprofit organization, and you seem like you're just doing so much. Why don't we go ahead and introduce yourself and let the audience know exactly about your book and the things that you are currently doing?
Well, I guess you say my name is Bobby Stretching, and I am a first-time author. It took me some years to to accomplish the task. And I got to tell you, I didn't do it on my own. Everything was orchestrated by God. I am a career professional woman. I'm an LPN. I've been the executive administrator of a 501c3 company for about 21 years.
Wow.
I've done a little bit of everything, from managing travel services for a bus line, a limousine service. I've ran a nonprofit after school program, a lot of things. But what I would say is that what I've learned over my experiences in my professional career is that you don't ever want to lose sight of yourself, no matter what your profession is.
Yes.
So I'm here today with you because of an amazing opportunity
Yes.
through the Distinguished Authors Guild. You know, they open up this doorway to meet you, and I am so grateful for this opportunity.
Yes, I had a chance to meet Dr. Carolyn, and she's an awesome woman of God. We not too long ago we spent seemed like forever on the phone. It's amazing what connections will bring you to someone, and then you get a chance to meet such great and awesome people through just one open door, and so which led me here sitting with you, and I'm really excited about it. Can you go ahead and give us the name of your book?
Yes, the name of my book is Walking on the Streets of Gold. It is the story of my mother. So the title, Walking on Streets of Gold, Bessie, the Voice of an Overcomer, is the story that's given in the vernacular of my mother. So what I'm sharing in this book, although it is a part of my inheritance, is mainly focused on her voice.
Okay, that's that's awesome. That's
Mhm.
awesome to write. And if you could kind of just give us a general idea of, even though you wrote the book generally in your mother's voice, is it a book about her life, or just some challenges that she's gone through? Give us the narrative, pretty much what the book is about, that's in your mother's, voice.
In my mother's voice, you will hear a lot of the challenges that she experienced, such as going through racism and even going through racism within her own race. It deals with mental challenges that she faced. She was born in the 1940s, so you see the progression of even the culture that she lived in. Also, speaking to her faith, it talks about things that normally we wouldn't want to bring out in the open. You know, these are internal experiences and even traumas that she dealt with that she wasn't able to really express openly. So
Okay.
in this book, in her vernacular, she reveals those things she wished that she had the opportunity to speak openly about in
Yeah.
her own words instead of it being narrated for her. Mhm.
Oh, that's good, because we know, even within my own family, dealing with like my grandparents and various different things, a lot of things you just couldn't talk about out in the open. Back then everything was kind of like hush hush. What goes in the family stays in the family. Then on top of that, if you're being a woman, sometimes, there wasn't always a platform or a voice for a lot of women around that time. And just also, being African American, period. And I'm sure in that time there was so much of the world that were on their shoulders back then. The things that they had to face and the challenges that they had to face. And so I think that's awesome that you're able to write a book in your mother's voice. So it's basically she may not have been able to come forth with some of those things, but you as her daughter, you're able to speak on her behalf and make sure that her voice is heard, which is very powerful, and legacy and things that we go through and things that we learned along the way doesn't have to stop with us. It can carry on, and you wrote something that will carry on for generations to come. If anybody did not get a chance to ask her these questions in the family, you wrote something that people in the family could kind of get to know a little bit more about her, things that she may or may not have shared. Now they know more of her through you. And what better way is through her daughter, right?
Right, right, right.
Absolutely. Where it's written with love and care. And I'm sure very careful with some of the things that you say and how your mother's voice was portrayed. And so which that is awesome. Now tell us a little bit about the journey in being nominated for the Distinguished Authors Guild Award. If you could give me a little bit about that.
Well, first of all, when the opportunity came to write the book, Dr. Carolyn was involved. Dr.
Okay.
Barbara Whitehead of Kingdom Publications was involved. I had a sister, Joyce Malone, who played a very pivotal part in doing this because the book began before my mother passed. We
Okay.
would have these conversations, and she would say, "These are things that I want to have heard. I want my voice to say what happened to me and what God did for me." Right?
Mhm.
I don't want to live in the shadows anymore. I want my voice to be heard and God to be glorified. So
Mhm.
Dr. Carolyn, Dr. Barbara Whitehead, they played that role in getting the book together. All right. So when I brought it to them, I did not even have the financial backing to do it. I did not have the knowledge of how to write a book. It's the first time.
Right.
And so they, being a part of the Distinguished Guild, Authors Guild, they mentored me, coached me, and then the next thing I know, I was in a actual discipleship class with Dr. Whitehead, and she brought the book in and put it on the table, and it was so overwhelming because it was my mother. It was the book with her voice. She didn't have a lot of education, so the book, while it could have been written to say in a better grammar, I wanted to protect, this is how she spoke, this is how she actually said it. So when Dr. Carolyn, them contacted me and they say, "Hey, now the book not only is overwhelming to me because it's published, it's real, it's in my hand."
Mhm.
She's calling me saying, "Your book has been nominated for an award." And I'm speechless. I don't have words because this wasn't even a part of it. I considered it a success having the book printed. Now it's out. Her voice is being heard, which was her dream. But to be a part of this community of the Distinguished Authors Guild is amazing. I've grown so much just being able to interact with the other authors, to hear their
Yes.
story, their journals, their insight, their, I mean, I'm telling you, the guild, the ag guild itself is
Mhm.
empowering.
Yeah.
So I was nominated, and then things began to happen. Doors began to open. I'm seeing my mother's voice in the platform and in the arena, not only in our little state of Georgia where we live, but it's all the way up in Chicago, Illinois, it's down in Florida, it's over in Alabama. It is amazing to be a part of the Distinguished Authors Guild. I cannot say that it is just about winning an award.
Right.
It really increases our capacity as authors with a story to tell, to tell it effectively, efficiently, and to grow to that next book.
Yes, I was just about to say. So when the next one coming? But you
Um,
know what? I'm just learning more about the Distinguished Authors Guild. But I spoke with another nominee, and also speaking with you, and just learning more about the awards and Dr. Carolyn. And I haven't had a chance to meet Dr. Whitehead yet, but just learning through you, through your voices, it really sounds like a beautiful community, a beautiful family, a community. And look how God blessed you. And you said you didn't have the financial means to do it, but it happened, right? And so that's the
right.
beautiful thing. You know, is sometimes when we just step out and we just step out on obedience and we just step out, you know, it's amazing what God will do when we just
Yes.
take that little bitty step, right? Faith of a mustard seed, right? So, you
Yes.
know, just to take that itty bitty little step forward, and then he just takes over and says, "Don't worry, daughter. I'll make sure I have everybody in place to
Oh,
make sure that this goes forth, that this happens, you know, and all because of your resilience and pushing past through and not looking at the circumstance, right?
right.
And in itself, and just saying, hey, I want to get this out. And so that's amazing, you know, and that teaches, you know, and you know, anybody else out there, you know, and Bobby is a perfect example on just stepping out on faith, right? And we have dreams and we have goals and we have things that we want to accomplish in life. And sometimes it just takes just that faith of a mustard seed to just step out there and get it done. And God will place, if he wants it to happen, God will put
That
everything
happened.
in place. He said he added rich, he make it rich and added no sorrow. So he
Yeah.
makes sure that everything was there for you. And that's a great testimony, you know, to making sure that we're obedient and just getting out there and doing what we need to do. Now, tell me a little bit, or a lot of bit, whichever way, about your organization.
My organization is Just for Me Wellness. Just for Me Wellness really came out of out of me doing other things for other organizations and other people. I I wrote a 501c3 for an organization,
Mhm.
and in the midst of writing that one, which was something I'd never done, it was my first time. I had no training, any of that stuff. And but I will say this, I had an amazing pastor. I had a pastor who had vision. Apostle Isaiah Rebels. At that time, he taught me this. He had a saying. He said, "God did not save you to be stupid." Oh my goodness. God didn't save you to be stupid. He instilled into me that God was intelligent and that when he puts a gift in you, then it's his job to bring it to fruition. So there were a lot of things that I was doing that I'd never done and at times was fearful to try to do. But he
Mhm.
would say things to me like, do this. And I'm like, oh, how am I supposed to do it? But relying on faith, and also not only faith, but God brings connections, divine connections. So for my organization, Just for Me Wellness, it stemmed from a faith and an impartation from a visionary who said, God created you to do great things.
Yes.
God created you to bring about platforms and to bring about connections yourself for other people. So, after writing the 501c3 for another organization, and as time passed, I shifted from being there to doing something different. And I had the concept for Just For Me Wellness, but I did not have the commitment to do it for me. I was doing it for somebody else, but to do it for me.
For you.
So that's where the title comes in, Just For Me Wellness. So that the gift that I have won't just be used for others, it's used for me. So it's holistic. It deals with teaching people to be self-advocates of their wealth, mentally, physically, emotionally. Just for me, does workshops. We just finished doing a seminar down in Moultrie, Georgia, our mental health awareness series, and it was amazing. We bring it in such a way that people can use the information, right? Take it away from the event and actually implement it, understanding that you're doing this just for you.
Wow.
One example is a lot of times when we go to the doctor, it's difficult to be open. We go in, and sometimes it's only going to be about 5, 10, maybe 15 minutes if it's something very serious that they'll talk to you. But to be prepared to go into it, we need some support. So Just For Me Wellness comes alongside of individuals and help them advocate for themselves to understand this appointment is just for me. I've got to go in here and I've got to advocate for my symptoms and all of the things that I'm feeling right now so that I can explain to the doctor how I'm feeling. What am I dealing with? Sometimes we get in there, we get a question that says, well, when did the pain start? I don't know.
Yeah. I'm guilty of that. Yeah.
If it's been a long time, sometimes there's a little bit of shame. Well, I don't want to tell them that it's been going on 2 weeks. I just say, oh, I think it started yesterday.
Yeah.
Actually, all this information is important when we're self-advocating. So Just For Me Wellness is focused on helping individuals be advocates of their own lives in whatever avenue it's in, including business. Like I said, I write 501c3s. I do nonprofit consulting, just a lot of things in that area under the umbrella of Just For Me Wellness.
Wow. You said a whole, I mean, that was good. That was a whole lot in there. First, I wanted to piggyback on, isn't it wonderful to make sure you're under a leader that has vision?
Yes. Yes.
I think that's so important, because when a leader has vision, it trickles down to the sheep and it helps the sheep thrive and also have a vision. So they always say it starts with the head and then it trickles down. You can't teach somebody to have a vision and push them to have a vision if you don't have a vision yourself, right?
Yeah,
and right. So I think that's really important, and that's great that you were able to have that foundation to get you going. I like that he said God didn't make you to be stupid, and that is so true because he's not. We're made in the likeness, the image of Him, so He's nowhere near stupid. So neither are we. But we have to just do the necessary steps, to make sure that we thrive and that we're getting it and that we're doing, and we're just not sitting here like lumps on a log with all this wonderful talent, all this information, right? And then we just sit on it. I think that even does a disservice from God because He wants to bring glory through us.
Yes.
And so people can look at you and see Him, right? So I think that's very important. And I love how you said your organization, it teaches you. I was reading your bio, and there was a key phrase that stuck in there. You teach people how to basically invest. Learning how to, and I said, "Ooh, I love that." And a lot of people, you don't look at it sometimes that taking care of yourself and being, like you said, being an advocate for yourself. You're investing in yourself, you're pouring into yourself, because what you pour in is what you're gonna eventually, the world is
Yeah.
going to see. So if you're not pouring in anything, everybody's going to see eventually, from the inside out, the bad health, because sometimes it eventually shows on
It's
the
your
outside if you don't take care of the inside. And I said, "Oh, I love that." That spoke to me, right? Because I'm a mover and a shaker. I'm go 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 go. Businesses, mother, grandmother,
time.
wife, and have my hands with so many things, but yet I always end up putting me on the back burner, right? Because hello, Dr. Carolyn. Hello.
Hello, Dr. Carolyn.
I saw Tamika Strickland, and I saw
Yes.
all of my podcast sisters that are
Oh
on.
my goodness.
Thank you, thank you, thank you for showing
Thank
up.
you. Thank you
Thank you
all.
for leading me to this awesome opportunity, awesome person here, Bobby. And I'm learning. Sometimes it's just the small things. Sometimes you don't have to
Yes.
preach to people.
Mm-mm.
Sometimes it's just the small things. And if you're stay in the mindset that I'm going to get something out of this,
Yes.
if you stay in that mindset, you'd be surprised at how many gems and nuggets that you can pick up along the way, you know. And so just by you saying what you said, it's kind of like, the conviction can, like, now you need to. and you didn't crack the whip. You just nice in your nice soft voice, and I'm like, oh yeah, she's traveling down my lane right now. So your organization is well needed, because I
Yes.
believe, especially in the body of Christ, sometimes we even focus more on our spiritual growth
Yes.
and we neglect our natural. And
Mm-hmm.
there's a reason why God made us both flesh and and spirit,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Spirit.
So
That's right.
this flesh every day, believe it or not, whether we want to believe it or not, it's dying.
Mm-hmm.
But there are things that we can do to help us prolong life,
Absolutely.
you know,
Absolutely.
just like we don't want to be spiritually dead, we don't want to be spiritually empty. It's
Mm-mm.
very important that we're also, like you said, invest in ourselves. And so that is great. What are some of the key factors that you would um, let people know, and I know you said, even going into the doctor's office and basically learning how to basically open up your mouth. Like you said, sometimes we let things go on and there could be a little bit shame or whatever it is. What are some key things that you would tell people who, like me, who's on the go all the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
and rarely slows down to check on things. And sometimes we see symptoms, we go, oh, I'll deal with it later, what would you tell someone that you kind of saw on that particular path, and you notice something and you say, hey, whatever it is, you need to slow down? What would you help that individual? What would you tell them?
I would tell them that, going back to my mother, who is the voice of an overcomer. My mother was a strong woman. She came up during that period of where women would have babies and in the morning time and be back out in the fields working in the afternoon time. That's crazy, but that's how it was. And so I remember her story telling me, she said, your body talks to you. And if you listen to it, then y'all will get along. But if your body talks to you and you want to, disregard it, then your body will say, okay, well, I have to do what I have to do myself.
Yes.
One of the things that I would share with you all is that when I was taking on so much, I had all these roles, nursing and being an executive director, I was doing a whole lot of professional work and ministry work, and going to work one morning, my body was telling me, no, you just need to stop. You can't work like this all the time. But the symptoms that I had, I'm tired, I'm sleepy, um, my appetite is not right because I'm eating when I eat what I ain't supposed to eat, and that's resonating with someone tonight too. And then there's that stress factor where we begin to absorb things. We're absorbing our responsibilities and others without really recognizing that this is not helping. You're not helping when you think that you're wearing a whole lot of hats. You're not helping yourself with that. So for the person who is, you've got it on your shoulders that you've got at least three things that you have to deal with every day, and none of them have to do with you being able to sit down and eat a meal without worrying about what those three things are. When you can't get ready to go to bed and you can't stop thinking about what those three things are, you're doing way too much. You're not investing in yourself. That's on a spiritual level as well as a physical level. We can't do that. That ain't even how God designed for us to be. So I had a stroke some years ago. And I think at that time I was holding down two full-time jobs. I was nursing and working in the Dougherty County school system and at my church. And I did not invest in me. I always put me a little bit back. I mean, I can eat later. I don't have to eat right now. I've got to be to church at a certain time. So it doesn't matter if I just got off from work and I'm going to hurry on to the church. It doesn't matter if I got out of church late and no, I did not take time to sit down and enjoy the food. I ate it fast because, I got to go to sleep, and then there's just stuff. So listen to me. Invest in yourself. Learn that your voice matters. Part of my mother's book stemmed from her doing so many things and then having people speak about what she felt she was doing for others wasn't good enough. It wasn't ever just right. You needed to give more. You needed to act a certain way. You needed to be a certain way, or you felt rejected, or you felt self condemnation. Okay. All of those things are not from God. None of them. None of them are. So, first of all, you have to invest in yourself by learning to do a self assessment. Yes, a self assessment where you make an appointment for yourself that you're going to check and see how are you doing. And sometimes it's like, oh, that's going to be a waste of time. No, it's not. You need to stop. You need to stop. You need to, whenever you can, pull yourself to the side and say, how are you feeling? Are your legs swollen? Check your feet. How are they doing? Oh, this headache. Exactly. You just thought about I had it. How long have I had this headache? I'm always popping some Tylenol. What's up with that? Assess yourself. How's your weight? Have you gained weight all of a sudden or lost a lot of weight? Sometimes it is getting in the mirror, hurrying up, getting ready to go out, but not getting in the mirror and just saying, let me check. Do I have any discolorations or some swellings I haven't noticed in a while? I mean, I noticed that, my fingers, the colors aren't right. That's part of a self-assessment. And I won't keep going, but I think you get the person would get the general impression I'm making is that to invest in yourself means you don't look at yourself through the eyes of other people. You look at yourself through the eyes of God. Take time, even in going to church, check on yourself. Going to church and always hearing, oh my God, that was a good message. Of course it was. Now tell yourself what was so good about it. Well, I know it was good. Yeah, what was good about it? I mean, what was good? I don't know, but it was good. I'll be biting. No.
Got caught in the emotion. Yeah.
No, invest in yourself. If you're going to get up and go to church, invest in knowing, what did God say? What did he say? And what am I going to do with what he said? Did I hear? Did I receive it? Because there's a lot of healing that's in the word of God. My mother learned her voice when she realized that Jesus is the way. In other words, no matter who's doing what, no matter who's living any kind of way with God, it didn't matter. It mattered the relationship between her and Jesus.
Yes.
So no, we can't get lost in going to church either. We can't. Go ahead, girl. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I mean, you said a hoe. I said you didn't walk past my street again a couple of times. And that's how I know. That's why I say, even though I'm interviewing, those who I interview, I still come in with a level of expectancy to be able to receive. You just pinpointed a couple, I think yesterday and then today, this morning, I looked down and my ankles are like this big, you know. Yeah. And so you said it, and I said, oh my gosh, okay, interview over. It's time for me to go.
Baby, self-investments are valuable. So we got to look now. Are we eating too much salt? You know, and it'll be simple, sometimes simple changes that once we can take time to evaluate ourselves, simple changes make a huge difference. Yes. One of the ones is sometimes I have just fought with going to sleep because it looked like it's always something to do that if I stayed up late trying to do it, then I feel guilty the next day because I had to stay up late to do it, or at least I thought so. And then now my body's like, look, we didn't sleep for 3 hours. You putting a little pressure on me, so I need some sleep. But in the day, oh no, I ain't gonna sleep right now because I gotta do it. No, you're still wrong. That's your body who says, I need to go to sleep. So God is a God of wisdom. And when we trust him and we start leaning into him, he gives us the grace. He gives us ears to hear him so that we can start investing in ourselves to learn the strategy, how not to stay up to 3 o'clock in the morning, doing all this stuff you swear can't be done tomorrow.
Right.
And tomorrow you got issues.
Yeah.
You got issues in relationships. Yes, you do.
And then your body's overworking. It's overworking because it didn't get the proper. And then, man, you are speaking to me. Oh goodness. Oh wow, I'm getting all kind of whoopings right now. You know.
No, don't say that. Don't say that. Don't say that.
But you know what? But you know what? I love correction. Because correction brings about change, right? Mm-hmm. You know, you didn't know you were going to come on here and say things, and like I said, right down my alley. So if anybody is experiencing anything that she mentioned, right? He that has an ear, let him hear, right? Mm-hmm. So going forward from today, let us all vow to take better care of ourselves. And warning comes before destruction. And I really believe that, you know, so and nothing happens just by chance. She's on here to give us a warning to take better care of ourselves, invest in ourselves so that we can, you know, those of us who are actually called in leadership, even more so, you know, because we have a mandate and we have an assignment. We all have a mandate and we all have an assignment. You don't have to have a title.
That's
we
right.
all have a mandate. We all have an assignment, and we have to be here in order to do the work. We have to be healthy. You know,
Yes.
God might tell us go meet somebody on the mountain, but if you can't climb that mountain, you can't get to your assignment.
That part.
Right,
That part.
right. So this was very good, very informative. But I heard another book from you.
Yes.
I heard another book about this subject. It may be in your mother's book, but there's another book that goes more in depth. People need this. Where people can't get your classes, this also needs to be, everyone needs this.
Wow.
You know, everybody can't get to the classes, but a book can get into places that you can't.
Yes, ma'am.
This
Yes, ma'am.
is, I mean, you know, and I always say, you know, seek God what he wants you to do, but you have so much wisdom in this. And I really think it would be a really good book
Thank you
to
for the inspiration.
to jot it down, you know, all the suggestions, all the, you know, everything. I believe it'll be a really good book for people to get on board and invest in yourself. If it's not called anything other but that,
All
invest in
right.
yourself. Yeah, yeah. I really enjoyed this. For those, I know some probably came in late, and I want to make sure that you tell them the name of your book, show them your book again, and so that they will know, go get this book, y'all.
Yes, my book is let me get it on here. Walking on Streets of Gold. Bessie, the Voice of an Overcomer. It can be found on Amazon. Walking on Streets of Gold. Bessie, the Voice of an Overcomer on Amazon. Also, I do have a lot of people who have reached out to me locally or in my area. You can cash out me to $B stretching. That's $B as in boy, S as in Sam, TRUTC as in cat, HEN at Cash App. Also, you can follow me on Facebook. I have a Facebook page under Bobby Stretching Author, and you can find me on Facebook and on Instagram. Please, please make a self-investment by buying this book, Walking on Streets of Gold. There's so much richness in it. I can't express it all here. Listen, but there are chapters in this book that speak to even people who are dealing with marriages that have been just, you think, you know what, this marriage just can't be saved. And there's help in the book for that. There are chapters in here that deal with finding your voice even in your faith. So there's a whole lot. Do buy the book. It's a self-investment. Walking on Streets of Gold. Bessie, the Voice of an Overcomer. I am thoroughly enjoying you.
I am. I'm like, ooh, I'm gonna have to have you back. I'm
Oh
gonna have
my
to have
goodness.
you back. I really am. Wow, my God, my God. And I just think, I don't know, Dr. Carolyn, I just, you know, like I said, I've just met her, but man, I'm loving her. She has so much wisdom, and I really do thank her for leading me to you guys, because I've really thoroughly enjoyed speaking with you and Tamika the last time I had my show, and I've gotten so much information. I mean, you guys are awesome people, you know, and it doesn't. I don't have to be right next to you to know, you know, who you are. A lot of wisdom. God has given you a lot of wisdom, a lot of wisdom, and your wisdom needs to be is you have a lot of wisdom. Overflowing wisdom, divine wisdom. Absolutely, absolutely. And I really enjoy, and I love talking to people who have wisdom, who have substance. And like I said, is iron sharpen iron. Sometimes we all need that extra. We need that extra push. And that's what God is all about. Strengthening your brother, right? And so, in your case, you're advocating for people. You're strengthening them and giving them the encouragement to invest in your health, invest in yourself, and really quickly, just and what you were talking about as far as your body. Listen to your body. I had a son that was killed in 2020, and mentally it took a toll on me, and I couldn't work for a while because I had to regroup. I took about a year off work, but my disobedient self was looking at the money, right? And so I was supposed to take a job with less. I'm a woman. I love having my hands and everything. And I was supposed to take a job with less stress. But the job that I was used to doing had, a lot of responsibility, and the money was there, right? So I went and took this job, and I was not ready. And by the time that job got through with me, I think about day 2 or day 3, I was ready to run up out of there. I never done it. And I was getting ready just to pack my bag, go to lunch, and never come back. And literally I heard almost like a pop go off in my head. And I said, Lord, okay. I had to repent. And I had to listen to my body. The next day I was in somebody else's office, getting a job. That's how I ended up doing security, because sometimes it doesn't require. I'm used to administrative phones, this, angry customers, and so I'm used to all of that. Right. And then so mentally, if you're not there, that's a lot. So I was in somebody's office, still making almost about the same amount of money. Now look at that. Got a post making about the same amount of money, and it was just. But had I not listened to my body, I could have walked into a disaster. I might have been in a mental institution taking medication, because that's how serious it was.
Yes.
So that's why I say your message on knowing your body, invest in yourself, your wellness is so needed. People are going through so much right now.
Oh, yes.
Mentally and physically. And so I believe God is also trying to get his people to invest in themselves, because there's a road we're going to have. There's some signs of the times that are getting ready to pass. And the investment in yourself is going to actually, you're going to need to. Just put it this way, you're going to need to. But oh my gosh, we're getting close to the end. I wish I could talk longer.
We will meet again.
Yes, absolutely. I will definitely have you guys go look her up, get her book. It sounds like it has a lot of great information that I believe we all need, that we can identify with at some point, and read her book with open eyes, open understanding. Expect to receive something out of that book. Matter of fact, I'm telling you, when you get this book, get a notebook.
Yes.
A paper and a pen. Listen to what God has to say to you through her mother's voice.
Yes.
And be blessed. Be blessed by this. But don't just read it to read it, but read it to get something out of it, and see where we can all improve in our lives.
Oh, yes.
Well, Bobby, thank you so much for coming on. And do you have a website for your organization? Do you mind giving that?
I don't have a website right now. I'm only found on social media, but I tell you what, once you make the connection with me, you will make an investment in yourself. And that's a guarantee.
That's a guarantee, y'all. Y'all heard it. All
That's a guarantee.
Well, this is the end of our show, everyone. I pray that something on here blessed you, because I know it blessed me. And we will definitely have Bobby back on. Excuse me, where's my Miss Bobby? I don't want to get in trouble when I get off the show. I'm gonna say, you're still strong, right? So we will have Miss Bobby back on here, and we will connect with her. And thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Make sure you buy the book. Until we meet again, I pray that everybody has a good night. And thank you for tuning in.
Thank you all. Enjoyed you so much, Prophetess. Good night.
I know the Lord will see you through. Turn to somebody and say, trouble don't last. Yeah, trouble don't last always. Do you really mean it? Come on, say it again, trouble.